Hey guys, welcome to our channel. Please click the subscribe button and click the bell icon and never miss another update from Almighty Java.
In this video, we will see how to secure our REST API using Spring Security in Spring Boot. So watch till the end and I'm sure you will learn something. If you are following my videos, then you are aware of the Book REST API project. So in this video, I will continue the same project. Here, I already imported the project and server also running on 8081 port. Here are the sample URLs and requests. You can find them in README file. Before implementing any changes, first let's test all the requests. Let's open the GET request. See, GET is working and returning one result. But like this, I cannot post the data. So let's open the REST client. See, here also GET is working fine. Now let's post some data. Here we need to add content type like application JSON. For request, let's copy from the sample request. Now click on the send button. See, it is working fine. Even now, in case of GET request, we are getting 2 records. Now let's test the put request. So let's copy this response, change the request method from post to put. And here let's change the price from 630 to 650. See, it is working fine. See, price is changed now. Let's test get by specific ID. See, it is working. Now let's test delete method. See, delete is also working. Even here also only one record is coming now. You can refer this README file to get the details about the URLs and requests. Now stop the server. Let's start implementing the changes for Spring Security. First, let's create the 2 domain classes, like one for user and one for role. Annotate this class as an entity. Add required fields like ID, name, email, mobile, and password, and add a required annotation for all the fields. Create getter and setter methods. Now let's add similar kind of changes for role class also. Let's create a relationship between user and role. So user class will maintain the many to one relationship. So add the annotation like many to one and join column. Create getter and setter for role. Role class will maintain one to many relationships with the user class. Create a set of users. Annotate this with one to many. Add required properties like target entity, mapped by, fetch type, and cascade type. Okay, so domain related changes are done. Now let's create repositories for user and role. Annotate this interface as a repository. Now extends JPA repository interface. Same changes let's apply for role repository also. Okay, so repositories related changes are done. Now let's create the service implementations for user and role. Here, open the book service implementation class also. First, annotate this class as a service. Now let's implement the iService interface. Here, generic value must be user. Now let's override all the methods. Let's create variable for user repository. Now let's add required code for all the methods. Don't worry, it is very simple. And for delete method, let's copy the method code from book service IMPL class and add required changes accordingly. Apply similar kind of changes for role service IMPL also. Okay, so now services related changes are done. Now close all the files. Let's open the application class. Here you can see the way we are saving the data for book Same way, we will add code for role and user also. So let's add required changes. Let's create two variables for user and role service. First, let's create the object of role. Here, set name as admin. Save role using role service save and flush method. Now, let's create the object of the user. Follow the similar approach like role and book. That's it. Changes are done. Now, let's start the server. Server started without any error. And for database details, let's open the application properties file. As you can see here, I'm storing data in H2 database. So let's open the H2 database. First, let's test the connection. See, test successful. Now, click on the connect button. See, database connected successfully. Here, you can see now 3 tables are showing like book, role and user. Let's query all one by one. See, the role, it is showing as admin. And for user, showing as a test user. Book data also showing properly. So here, whatever data we want to store as part of these tables, it is stored properly. Okay, so now all the basic changes are done. Now let's implement Spring Security related changes. So let's open the POM XML file. Here, first add the Spring Security dependency. Before add any Spring Security code, I just want to comment some code of pre-handle method of book interceptor class. Now let's start. First, let's open the application class. And here, first, let's encrypt the password using bcrypt password encoder encode method. Now let's create a package and package name, let's say config. So this package will contain the Spring Security related classes. Let's create the class and class name, let's say Spring Security config. Now let's create a class in service IMPL package and class name, let's say user details service IMPL. Create one more class in config package and class name, let's say authentication entry point config. So required classes creation is done. Now first let's add changes in user details service IMPL class. So this class implements user details service interface. Annotate this class as service. Now override the method. Let's create the variable for user repository. Annotate this as autowired. Now go to the user repository interface. Here let's declare one method and method name, let's say find by email, and this method accepts the user email and return the user object. Here before string, let's add an annotation for param, and here pass the email. Now annotate this method as query. Now let's add the simple select query which will fetch the data for the email. So here this email is the name parameter. Okay, so these changes also done. Now go back to user details service IMPL class. From here, let's call the find by email method using user repository. Here, let's change from username to email. Let's add a simple condition. So if user is null, then throw the exception like username not found exception. Now we need to add authority related code. Let's create a private method, and this method will return the collection of granted authority and it accepts the user object. Now let's create an object for collection of granted authority. Here we will add a condition like if user role is admin, then add simple granted authority object in granted authority collection. Here we need to pass role admin. And if user role is not admin, then add role user. At the end, return the authorities. In load by username method, we will return the user of user details class, and here we need to pass 3 parameters like username, password and authority. So pass the username like email, password and authorities. Okay, so user details service IMPL related changes are done. Now let's add required changes in Spring Security config class. First, annotate this class as configuration and add one more annotation like enable web security. This class will extend web security configure adapter. Let's create the variable for authentication entry point and annotate this as autowired. Let's create the variable for user details service IMPL and annotate this also as an autowired. Let's override the configure method. Here, let's call auth.userdetails service method and pass our user details service object and the encrypted password during save of user. So now let's call the password encoder method and here pass the bcrypt password encoder object. Let's again override the different configure method. Here you can see this method accepts the HTTP security object. So now let's call http.authorizerequest.anyrequest.end.http basic.authentication entry point. So here pass the entry point and that's it. So this code meaning is like first it will authorize all the requests, then it will authenticate. Okay, so changes for this class is done. Now let's add required changes for authentication entry point config class. First, annotate this class as a component. Now this class will extend basic authentication entry point. Now let's override comments method. Here, simply add the authentication response related code. So if username and password is invalid or some exception, then this method will take care. Here, one more method we need to override and the method name is after properties set. So basically here we will set the realm name and this realm name we will use at response.addHeader. Okay, so now all the changes are done. Now close all the files and let's start the server. Server started without any error. Now let's test all the requests. See, now it is asking for username and password. See, it is allowing to access the GET request. Let's try the same in REST client. See here, it is not asking because it maintains the browser cache. Still, if you want, you can add the authentication. So let's add the basic authentication. See, even now also it is working fine. For example, let's make it this username invalid. See, we are getting the bad credential error and this error is coming from the authentication entry point commence method. So if it is valid, then it is giving the proper response. Now let's try the post method. So let's copy the request from the readme file. Now let's try. See, it is not working, giving some error like forbidden. So to handle this case, we need to disable CSRF in configure method. So let's do that. Server restarted. Now let's try again. See, now it is working fine. Even here also it is listing 2 books. Now let's copy this response and add price related changes and execute the put method. See, it is working fine. The price value is updating properly. So like this, test other cases also. Now let's open the Postman. So if you are not compatible with the REST client, then you can use this also. Let's access the GET request. See, here different error is coming, like full authentication is required to access this resource. Now let's add the auth. See, now it is working fine. Similarly, let's test all the scenarios. See if credentials are wrong, then in header section, here you can see the rel name which we set in after property set method. Now let's close everything. I checked in my changes. I will show you from where you can find these. So let's open our GitHub page. If you want, you can follow me on GitHub also. See, here is the repository. See, here are the changes. So in this video, we secured our REST API using Spring Security. In the next video, we will see how to integrate JWT API also. So JWT is nothing but JSON Web Token. Till the time, enjoy the life, and yes, that's it for this video.
Please like and share this video. Subscribe our channel. Thanks for watching.